What a feeling is believing. I can't
Hello everyone, I'm Michael Schack and I'm at the drum shop in Perth, at Cosmic Sound in Perth, and I have this incredible TD30 I've been playing during the Netsky tour here in Australia, but most important, today we're showing for the very first time in Australia the brand new TM2 module. And this TM2 module, well, it's like adding extra batteries to your playing, to your sound, because you might have been using electronic drums or acoustic drums for years and years, but thanks to this new TM2 you actually are becoming your own sound engineer even more than before, because this TM2 will enable you to beef up your sound, but on top of this you can load your own taste of samples and play them straight with your same drumsticks, with your same drums out of this TM2, and we will show you how. So before going into the specifics of this TM2, let me just show you with a very simple example what it can do for you. Imagine you have an electronic drum set. You have a natural toms, hi-hats, cymbals and so on. But by adding some flavor to your kick and snare sound with this TM2, you are getting a totally different ballgame in low-end and mid-range power with the same toms and the same cymbals. So this is the normal drum set sound. And now, with the TM2 on top of this, so what I actually did, I just added some low end on the snare, and this is the TM2 snare sound I'm using, and this is the kick sound. Together with the kick and the snare from the TD30. And there's another important thing. A TM2 is a very important module, not only sound-wise, but also latency-wise, because it's the fastest trigger module you can have on the market, because it uses the same fast trigger processor that's been used with the TD30 and the SPD-SX. So it's a new world record in how you can trigger external sounds from any acoustic or electronic drum set. I'm a very, very motivated electronic drummer, because I play a lot of electronic music, but now, with electronic music being so popular, I needed the TM2 specifically to enhance my gigging possibilities. For instance, there's a lot of drummers that play dubstep, but it doesn't sound like dubstep. And of course, the TD30 has great electronic drum sounds in there, but as electronic music evolves, every single month there's another drum sound that is being more popular than another one. So let me try to show you a very specific example. This, for instance, is the basic kit coming out of the TD30, which I programmed a little bit. This is the one. Very nasty hi-hat, but the low end on the kick is very boomy, and also the snare is very crunchy. I'm actually using the internal saturator effect to have this kind of thing. But being able to add the specific dubstep samples of today, I can really layer these drum set sounds with the most fat sampling libraries you can find on the internet. Or you just transfer some snare drums or kick sounds you really like on an SD card. You put that SD card in the TM2, and there you go. You just trigger the sounds directly from your drums, even the acoustic drums, from the SD card of TM2. That's how fast it can process your incoming trigger signals. So this is the normal drum set sound. And this is with the TM2. And this is the drum sound just coming out of the TM2. Now with the kick and the snare of TD30 combined. If nobody's moving on this kind of sound, then it's all your mistake. So, with a little bit of music. Now the best thing about TM2 is not only the speed and the fact that you can load your own user sounds and you can take advantage of all the element preset sounds and so on, but also you can actually manipulate the sounds. You can change the pitch, you can change the length, you can change some of the effects which you can combine with these sounds. For instance, this bass note. This is a typical hardstyle dance music. It's typically 150 BPM kind of sound that is much used combined with kick drums. You see everybody jumping up and down. Now when I actually add the kick sound from the TD30, if you've been to any of the future music festivals, well, this is how you lost weight. And then you're bringing the kick sound and everybody's jumping up and down. 1, 2, 3. And that's a new type of dance music because no producer can actually play double kick drums and cymbals at the same time like a drummer. Now, there's another very specific quality about the TM2. It not only has complete sounds which you can add on top of your drum sound, but also sound elements. Like for instance, the specific attack of a beater touching the head of a, for instance, 24-inch bass drum. So let me show you what I'm doing now is actually, especially for the rock and metal players out there, this is an attack element only from the kick drum, okay? That's all. A high-end tick, 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 tick. Now, let me put down the volume of the TM2 and just add, show you the sound of the TD30. Okay, that's the bass drum sound out of the TD30, and now I add the attack element on top of that kick sound. Without, with. Can you imagine the effect when you're playing double bass? I will show you. You hear every single attack thanks to the fact that the TM2 adds this specific element to every time your beater hits that head. Imagine the effect also on your acoustic drum set. Now we are at the acoustic drum set, and the TM2 is of course also very versatile for any acoustic drummer. We use it like this. You just add a trigger pickup to the kick and a trigger pickup to the snare. To the snare, for instance, you can actually add a dual pickup, which enables you to have rim and snare head sounds being completely different sounds. And despite the fact that we're actually connecting with trigger pickups, there's no difference in latency. Okay? Now, let me show you a hip hop beat, and I will change the sound of the TM2 along the way, so you can get the versatility of this instrument, because I see this as an instrument. It's not just a module. Example number 1. Without. How cheap is this? Now let's go a little bit more expensive again. Okay, Example number 1. Now, there's also other kind of sounds, not only elements, like I talked, already explained with the TD30, but also very nice effect sounds. For instance, imagine being in a subway. Is there a subway in Perth? I think there's none, because it's always sunshine. No, there's a subway in Perth? Wow, you guys are so modern. Let's check this out. The sound without the TM2. So the big advantage is you don't need extra microphones, you just need trigger pickups and you have a very big sound. 1, 2, Perth subway. And you can of course also add more things, like this BT1 is connected now also to the trigger input of channel number 1, which I use also with the kick trigger. So I can play the kick sound here and also here. Imagine doing this. Eat your heart out, Mike Portnoy and all the rest. I just need one pedal to be able to do this. There we go, Belgian style. Now, next example. For instance, a house kit combined with an acoustic drum set. Low snare drum sound. This is a snare drum sound, again, without the TM2. It's nice, but it's not very... Now, with the TM2. And, of course, also on the rim. So when I play rim shots, it will have the same impact. But most important, I like a lot of kick drum. Without the TM2, it's like, it's okay, but... and now with the TM2. Now, next example, very nice one, distorted hop, distortion hop. This is like also a preset sound, so it's not only about clean kick drums and snare drums on top of acoustic drums, it's also about enhancing the possibilities of your acoustic drum set sound with some of the nice effects you've been hearing on many records for years and years and years. 1, 2, up! And even with the small kick sound, which normally, you know, even the resonance head is complete, so there's no hole in it, still the triggering is very, very, very precise, okay? And of course, it's also velocity sensitive. Now, the last example, why not sharp dance? Future Music Festival. Everybody's like using DJs, but you can be the acoustic drummer at Future Music Festival and still all the people will go like this. Thanks for you by using just the 18-inch kick drum sound, which just sounds like this. Nobody will be raving, but with TM2 they will be raving. For hours, Red Bull, cigarettes and an iPhone. That's typical for the people that are raving. You need more examples? Just come to the drum shop at Cosmic Sound in Perth. Even if you're living in Sydney, it might be worthwhile for your air miles to take the advantage of them, okay? See you around!